Hey everybody, and welcome. We have another of the pre-modern 64 deck Super Gauntlet matches. We're still in the round of 32, and if you like good, clean, fair Magic, then you should watch yesterday's video because today we have two combo decks that are facing off against each other. We have the Devourer combo against Pebbles. I'm Michael Hoyp. I'm joined once again by Bob Baker. Say hi, Bob.
Hi, Bob.
And we will quickly go over the decks that our players have. The first deck that I have is the Devour combo. This one is going to be piloted by Tom Metelsky. And what this deck is trying to do is get Phyrexian Devourer in play and either have a Phyrex or is it Altar of Dementia
Yeah.
or have Fling in combination with it. And what it's going to do is it's going to activate the Phyrexian Devourer, which exiles the top card of your library, puts counters on it equal to the converted mana cost. If the power of the Devourer is too big, it's going to sacrifice itself, but you can respond to that trigger by keep making it bigger. And so you'll mill out your opponent if you have the altar, or if you have Fling, then you'll just deal a straight shot of 20 plus damage to your opponent.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of shortcut casting the 6 mana Phyrexian Devourer by using Tinker. And so other than that, it's just a blue-red combo with an artifact sub theme.
Yeah, pretty straightforward two-card combo. Devour and Altar or Devour and Fling. And you can tinker into either half of that combo, so
Yep.
this should be pretty fast. In theory, you could win as early as turn 2.
Yep. Yeah, you could play a turn 2 Altar of Dementia, and then you could play a turn 3 Tinker for the Devourer and mill your opponent out right away. So it definitely has a lot of power. So
Not a whole lot of interaction, though.
no.
And not a whole lot in the sideboard either. I don't think that's going to be very helpful, so...
Okay, so let's look at the list that Flint is playing, and this is Pebbles. So this is one that's not seen as much in pre-modern. It's kind of a take of a old extended deck, and what this deck is trying to do is get the enchantment Enduring Renewal. That's in the bottom right corner. It's a 2 white for an enchantment. I might not get all the text right. You play with your hand revealed, and if a creature is going to die, it goes back to your hand, and if you draw a card, you reveal it, and if it's not a creature, it goes to the graveyard, I think is what it does. So what that would do is if you have that in play, you're able to... and you also have to have Goblin Bombardment, which was an enchantment that if you sacrifice a creature, you can deal 1 damage to a creature or player. So with those 2 enchantments in play, a 0 mana creature, Shield Sphere, or the 1 Phyrexian Walker are able to loop and just deal 1 damage an unbound amount of times to a creature or player.
Yeah. And this is a slower combo. Little clunkier. It's more than it's 3 cards. But what it makes up for that it's got a lot more interaction.
Mm-hmm.
In the main deck, we got the mana leaks, which are going to be useful. The Cabal Therapies, which will be useful. Um, and in the sideboard, there's just a ton of stuff that Flint can bring in that's really good at shutting down his opponent's combos. Um, Null Rod, Aura of Silence, right? Is
Yep.
in there. Humility,
Cur-
Ivory Mask,
Cursed Totem. Yep.
Cursed Totem. Yeah, so all of these things. And he's got 4 Enlightened Tutor. So we're talking about like a solid 9, 10 cards basically that are going to really shut down what Tom is trying to do. So,
Yeah, and that's on top of some counter magic. There's and Cabal Therapy. So there's
yeah.
4 Arcane Denials and 4 Mana Leaks and Cabal Therapy. And so I think Flint is going to kind of be the controlling role in this matchup.
All right. Looks like the players are ready to go. They've
All right.
mulliganed and they're waiting on us. So let's get into it here.
Okay, you can let them know they can start. We have Flint on the left with the smiley face of cards, and Tom on the right with the Devourer combo deck.
All right. See if we can do a better job of keeping track of the life totals tonight.
Yeah, this one might be a little bit easier. It's
Yeah,
not.
it's
The changes might be a little controlled, and they are
all
not
right.
as relevant. So that's a jeweled amulet. Let me bring that one up.
So that's a pretty weird one. You put mana into it and you can get it out later, but only whatever the last color you put into it.
Yeah,
Um, so that's kind of a weird one, but a lot of old cards are weird.
yeah. It. I mean, it's got a lot of text on it, but it's pretty intuitive. Like the first time you read it, basically you charge it up, and then you can get that mana with the mana you put in.
All right, Cabal Therapy here. Flint.
Oh, look at this. He's got
Tinker.
a Tinker. Okay.
Ooh, look at you.
He's prepared. He knows. Is that from a game though, or like?
I don't know. It looks like a little dry erase.
It's a little dry erase board. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What's his hand? Looks like
Impulse, Felwar Stone, 2 Crystal Veins, and a Devourer. It looks like.
I couldn't see half of his hand because Tom's hand was over it, but looks like we put some blue mana in that bad boy.
Oh.
We got a damage from the City of Brass there.
Yeah.
Looks like another one.
Well, both players should be at 19, right? Because Flint took a damage to cast his Cabal, and okay, now Tom's at 18. Okay.
Yeah. I don't think it's all that relevant.
No, but maybe you start attacking with a Devourer.
Yeah, it's not unheard of, you know.
It's pretty unheard of.
Sometimes you just got to get in there.
All right, so this is the end of turn Impulse.
Okay, we're going to take the blue mana out to cast Impulse here.
So yeah, he can be looking for, I guess since he's either looking for Fling or Altar, I think, or Tinker, I guess. But
those do sound like the 3 most relevant cards.
I mean, I guess a card like Factor Fiction might be okay too.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, like I said, we said before, Flint's decks is quite a lot slower than Tom's, and you're gonna see that one coming. That combo's not gonna sneak up on you like Tom's can.
Yeah. One thing that we didn't mention about Tom's deck is he does have 3 copies of Defense Grid in his main deck, and that will make any of the counter magic that Flint has a lot less effective if he's able to resolve that.
For sure. Another Crystal Vein here.
Yeah, so the Crystal Vein taps for colorless, but it also can sacrifice for 2 colorless. So it's a nice way to kind of sneak out a Devourer in certain spots. It looks like Tom is debating how he wants to spend his mana. Trying to think what he... So do we still know any of the cards left in his hand? I feel like he's...
Devourer.
Okay, yep. I guess, yeah, he's got that face up. I'm trying to think what he would be pondering. So the total amount of mana he has right now, if he were to sacrifice his lands, he has 2, 4, 5, 6 mana. So I mean, if you're looking at like next turn, where if he charges up the amulet and had another land, he has the option to like 1 turn kill Flint, like with a Fling and the Devourer just by hard casting it.
Okay, well, looks like he's gonna go for something here.
So this is risky against the 8 counter spells that are in Flint's. If he's sacking 2 lands to do it, so he's taking a damage to cast this.
Yeah, he's putting the Devourer in play. Flint's picking his hand up, so I have to assume he's got something here.
Yeah, a mana leak.
Yeah. So that would lead me to believe that Tom probably has a couple more land in his hand, because I don't think you're going to bend. You're not going to let Flint 3-for-1 you on a mana leak or an Arcane Denial if you think like you're just going to shut the rest of the game down.
All right, I like how all 3 of us just have different life totals.
Yeah,
Flint has 1, Tom has another, and I have 1. I'm going to just keep it up to mine. I don't think it's going to make a difference, but I'm going to stop worrying about it. I'm just going to keep it on mine, and I'll just talk about more about the game compared to the life total.
Yeah, it's hey man, we can't hear what they're saying, so
yeah.
Okay, so just a draw go from Flint. They play the Reflecting Pool. Real plotty, slow, methodical game here from his side of the table.
All right, so here is the Altar of Dementia.
And that makes sense.
That's met
Arcane
with
Denial.
Arcane Denial.
Yeah.
So the Arcane Denial, since he targeted Tom's card, Tom will be able to draw up to 2 cards, and Flint can draw 1.
Yeah. So I think there's some interesting sequencing there from Tom. If he had the altar in his hand, which I would assume that he does, um, I don't think there's any reason to play the Devourer first. If you're worried about permission,
I agree. Because if
um,
Mana Leak's a card, and like if you have to commit sacrificing your lands,
right? Especially since you know I was under the assumption that he probably had more lands in his hand, given that he was willing to sacrifice 2 lands to make that play. But he obviously didn't play a land, so
mm-hmm.
um, maybe
well,
some less than ideal sequencing.
well, he only had 7 mana last turn, right? Because we were talking about. Oh no, he only had 6.
He only had 6. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
he
okay,
spent
yeah,
it all to play the Devourer and got mana leaked.
yeah.
We got Flint here getting Goblin Bombardment. So my guess is that he already has the other piece in his hand.
Well, I mean, not necessarily. It just this might be a card that it does a little bit better on its own. It's not like you want to get Enduring Renewal
Well,
because
I don't think there's any reason to cast the Enlightened Tutor
oh sure,
if you don't already have the other piece, right? So
yeah. I mean, if he has like Academy Rector,
sure, but so I think we're gonna either see a bombardment and a pass, or an Academy Rector, or a Enduring Renewal. So all right.
yeah. From this spot, like Tom, because he needs 2 different cards, and does he not have anything in his hand right now? He's got to have
He
something.
should
He's
have
a few cards,
3. He
yeah.
just drew, so he has 4 cards in hand plus the 2 from the Arcane Denial. So I think he'd be up to like 6 cards at this point, right?
Okay. But yeah, I guess I forgot about the drawing cards. It didn't look like he had anything on the table, but I guess he was actually holding them.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he has 5 or 6 cards there. 6, it looks like.
Yeah, so coming back from the spot, I like he needs. I
I
guess
think he's in rough shape at this point.
yeah, he would need like a a, a soul land, another altar, and then Tinker. I think to come back. So Cabal Therapy. What card do you think you name here?
Probably just Tinker again, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the card he might have in his hand is like Factor Fiction, but I think Tinker is probably the card you're most worried about, and that
Yeah,
looks like that's what he's going for.
Flint agrees. I have to say, so far, my only critique of Flynn's side of the board has been that gold bordered reflecting pool.
Yeah, I mean he definitely
It's hard
owns
to do
some, but
effectively.
he has like 12 plus decks built.
I'm
So
just saying, man, like the
there's
gold border is kind of loose on a reflecting pool.
I don't know. I don't. I mean, it looks fine. Are you okay about the gold bordered city brass on Tom's side?
Yeah, I mean, like it's the right artwork. It's the wrong color border, but I mean, like you could give him a pass because that Arabian Nights city brass is gonna be a pretty penny.
Yeah,
But I mean, come on, you can get a reflecting pool with a black border for who knows, right? It's like $4 or $5 probably.
I think they're like 12.
Okay,
But I mean,
well,
like you said, they're just in different decks. I have the same thing as like I start to like I have my collection and I have 4 of a majority of the cards that I like, and then I start building more decks, and it's kind of like, do I want to like buy 4 more reflecting pools, or do I want to use gold borders, or do I just want to proxy them? And
we got a
it's
shield sphere.
it's a
Ooh,
dilemma to
this is
have.
pretty backbreaking. So he hit on the Tinker, and Tom had double defense grid and double impulse in his hand,
Okay.
and followed up with the shield sphere and flashback Cabal Therapy to hit both the defense grids. So that's a rough one.
So if he's taking the defense grids, do you think that indicates is that because it's an artifact, or do you think that indicates that Flint has more counter magic in his hand? Because you think you would take the impulse otherwise.
You know, um, I'm not sure. What's Flint? Flint sent me a message here. Jeweled Amulet can store colorless mana. I think so.
I'm
I'll
not.
have to look that up.
I feel like that would be a question that, like, if you just should be one of the questions. I can't even read this text.
I'm looking it up on Gatherer, but I'm pretty sure yes.
Does it note what type of mana? Oh, I'm
Yes.
reading also not Oracle text, so I'm sure you're getting it updated. All right, I'll go back to the game while you figure that out.
The types of mana are white, blue, black, red, green, and colorless.
Okay.
So.
So Tom cast an Impulse and picked one of the 4 cards that he liked best, and then he passed a turn. So,
okay.
I mean, Flint, all he needs here, I mean, I guess he needs both other 2 combo pieces. So he needs Enduring Renewal and another 0-drop.
Yeah. I think I would have held on to that Enlightened Tutor. I don't think there's any reason to spew it off there. It just makes your ability to draw into the rest of the combo much slower.
Sure. So if you draw naturally a Goblin Bombardment, then you're able to get the other one.
I think it's fine if you have the Enduring Renewal or the Academy Rector, especially if you have the Academy Rector in your hand. But
yeah, I'm trying to think of what are the real benefits for running it or playing it right away.
Yeah, I don't think there is one, but I mean I could be wrong. I feel much less confident in my ability to know 100% what's going on between these 2 decks than I did last night. I can tell you that for sure.
Okay, so another Arcane Denial is cast.
On another altar, it looks like. So I think your intuition about defense grid there was probably correct then.
Yeah.
Ooh, we got the chat here saying that it's $18 to $25 for pools.
Yeah. Do you like the gold bordered reflecting pool a little more?
I mean, I'm willing to give him a little bit more of a pass on it now, but he knew he was going to be recorded tonight. He could have went and found the black bordered ones.
All right. I feel like that's your best argument if you're gonna hassle him about it. All right, so we do see Enduring Renewal, and he's got a pair of Shield Spheres. Yeah. So
there's a combo.
Only needed one, but there goes the Pebbles. They start pewing at Tom.
Yes. So I think this matchup gets a little worse for Tom after sideboarding. Flint gets to bring in quite a large amount of interaction.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I have Flint's deck up right now. So we did talk about cards that just they seem fine, like Cursed Totem, Null Rod, Seal Cleansing, Energy Flux is fine, Aura Silence, Humility will shut down the Devourer, Ivory Mask would prevent him being targeted. So those are a bunch of cards. So what cards are you looking to take out?
I think if your plan is to if you put any one of these into play, I don't think that Tom has any way to remove any of these.
In the sideboard, he has Rushing River, so I have to assume that he has 3 of those. So I have to guess.
Like he's sideboarding some Rushing Rivers in.
Probably.
He's definitely doing some kind of sideboarding, so we'll have to assume he's bringing those in. I mean, if that's the case, if you expect him to bring in the Rushing Rivers, then especially if, as Tom has shown, he has like a willingness to put the pieces into play, kind of independently over 2 turns, which I think you kind of have to, given that Devourer costs 6 mana.
Mm-hmm.
I think the best options here are probably like Seal of Cleansing and Aura of Silence.
Okay.
Especially since Tom has the defense grids.
Yeah, so thinking about what cards that Flint could cut, I think he could cut 1 to 2 copies of like the 0 mana artifacts. I think it's reasonable to cut maybe a couple like mana leaks, cards like mana leak, because Tom still does have a defense grid, and if you have other forms of disruption, um, you don't need like too many counter spells or hate cards. I don't know if like Lim-Dul's Vault ever comes out. If that, I mean, that card always seems fine. It doesn't seem
Yeah,
bad.
it does seem fine.
And then like, or maybe taking out like one Goblin Bombardment, thinking that like it's not like Tom has that many ways to kill the enchantments,
yeah,
and
I think
so
shape.
maybe he can just play like a little bit of a control game and then eventually find his pieces.
Yeah, I think shaving on combo pieces sounds good to me. You don't need to. I think enduring ideal or enduring renewals. You just need the one to go off. It's not like Tom's gonna attack your hand. You can just hold on to it until you're gonna combo off, and then. Um, but
Yeah. So the interaction with Tormod's Crypt and Enduring Renewal, does it
so
actually? Does it?
enduring renewal is a replacement effect. So I don't think that the cards actually ever go to the graveyard.
Okay. Yeah.
It's been a while since I was in charge of answering
Anyway.
questions about magic cards, but I will double check what Gatherer says.
Yeah, I'm looking at an old text version, so I don't know if that would change. But so looking at cards that Tom might want to bring in, I think Rushing River is probably the card he wants to bring in the most. Goblin Welder is another card that, if you're expecting people to blow up or
Oh,
counter your
okay. So,
enchantments.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there,
Yep.
but as of 7/15/2006, the last ability is now a triggered ability
Okay.
and not a replacement effect.
Okay.
That
So
means
Tormod's Crypt is a card that, um,
can disrupt this combo. Yeah.
yeah. So the thing is though, Flint just needs to have like another. It needs to get another zero drop if that happens,
Yeah.
which is not that hard. Like, I mean, there's a lot of cards that get it. Like, so I mean, maybe that's. I guess I just don't know what cards you trim when you're this combo deck. You can let them know they can start, and we'll switch over when they start playing.
Sure. I think like I bring in the rushing rivers for sure,
Yeah,
and then the rest of the like you could probably skim on like I don't know, like maybe fling.
yeah, probably what I was thinking. Yeah, yeah. Flint does have a copy of Null Rod in his sideboard, so
That's true. Um, so maybe you want a nice crypt
all right.
crypt plus the
Turn
devourer.
turn one defense grid off an ancient tomb. So
Yeah.
that's nice, and so that's like a reason I don't know how Flint sideboarded, but to be a little less reliant on counter magic. I mean, I guess that those are in the main deck. I think there's a fourth in the sideboard, but um, so I guess that applies for all the games. But
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Shaving on some of the permission spells for the more permanent based removal, like was that a cursed?
Cursed Totem, yes. So
So
creature activated ability of creatures can't be
can't be
played.
activated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Devourer is now just a 6 mana 1/1.
Well, it's got some text on it.
Sure. It dies if its power gets too big still.
Yeah, it still dies when its power gets too big.
Is Flint thinking about this? Whether he actually wants to get it? Is he just toying with Tom? What's going
I
on?
have no idea. He's changing his mind.
All right, he's leaking information. Tom, I boarded this in and it's not in my hand.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right.
He's decided to go with Null Rod instead.
I mean, I guess that gets the activation of Altar of Dementia is
Jeweled Amulet, all that
sure.
stuff.
Yeah, I guess that's a better reason because Altar of Dementia not very good when like
He's
if
not comboing off.
yeah, and obviously he can't combo off when it's in play. So
I guess the real question is since all of those um pieces that oh man, we're going way down here.
Tangle Wire.
Tangle Wire, okay. Um he's really trying to get underneath those counter spells.
Yeah, I don't know if this with this Tangle Wire. I guess it slows Flint down, but
I
I mean,
I'm not really
I think it's good. It's definitely good, a good card. It's kind of like a redundant defense grid in this spot, But I mean, I guess maybe from Tom's perspective, if he just doesn't have the combo pieces right now, I mean, I guess it prevents Flint from playing Null Rod. I guess that's pretty good.
Oh yeah,
Well,
just for a
no,
couple
no, it
turns.
doesn't. It does not. The Phyrexian Tower allows him to play the Null Rod. So
Okay.
even with his plan of taking forward to cast the Tangle Wire, Flint finds a way to cast the Null Rod.
Yeah. But I
All
guess
right,
what I was trying to say before is, given that Enlightened Tutor just gets all of those cards, how many do you think you actually have to bring in before you have enough?
sure. Yeah, I don't know.
Like he's got 5 or 6 different options there. I don't think he needs to bring them all in. He brought in at least two. Um,
Mhm.
Two might be the right number.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I think I think all those cards are just better than Mana Leaks, though it feels like. So it's kind of like I don't know. I feel like I would replace the Mana Leaks, but
Sure. So you have like 4 of them.
probably something like that.
Yeah. So probably Null Rod, Cursed Totem. I would think
Aura of Silence, I think,
Aurora of
is
Silence,
really could slow him down.
and then Seal of Cleansing. Maybe, or is that Seal of Cleansing get artifacts and enchantments, just
Yes, it
enchantments?
gets both.
Yeah. So
Um,
Seal of Cleansing would probably be my guess. Would be my pick, I guess.
yeah, Humility
Um,
might be. I don't know if Humility would be like better than Seal or like Ivory Mask. Like it's
I'm just
like
thinking like not necessarily as a way to stop the combo,
combo,
but
but
as a to
just
deal with the
like some
Tangle
of the other
Wires and
cards,
Defense
sure.
Grids and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm thinking like it's more narrow, but it's a little higher impact. But then it still falls prey to the Rushing River plan, so I don't know if those type of cards are right to bring in. All right, so we
Got a
see
Lim-Dul's Vault here.
yes,
See how deep he wants to, how
deep.
deep he wants
That's
to
a
dig,
dig.
rather.
I mean, when your opponent doesn't really pressure your life total, this card you can get a little
Yeah,
more aggressive with it. So,
I mean, if this were me, I would have at least one combo piece in my hand at the end of this.
well, it puts them. You don't put in a card in your hand; it just rearranges.
Sure.
But you mean like after his draw step? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I might be tempted to look at almost my whole deck, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you could almost say like, "Oh, I found one combo piece, but can I keep digging so that I have two of them in
Try
the
to
same
find two.
pile of five?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it has enough redundancy between, Academy Rector and Enlightened Tutor. It probably isn't that hard to find a pile that has 2 combo pieces in it. I'm sure somebody who's a lot better at math could tell you what the odds are, but
yeah. I'm not interested in trying to figure that out right now.
I mean, my gut tells me it's worth a couple of points of life to try
Yeah,
to hit 2.
yeah. So Mike from the chat pointed out that the Null Rod turns off Tormod's Crypt as well. So that's something we did not mention. So yeah, that is
It's
a good
true.
point.
Thanks, chat, Mike.
All right. So if the two cards or 2 to 3 cards you would want would be Goblin Bombardment, Enduring Renewal, Enlightened Tutor.
Academy Rector.
Yeah.
I think
Because
you're going to keep any pile that has 2 of those, I think.
yeah, but then you get to sequence a lot of like how the next few turns go with this Lim-Dul's Vault. So I don't know if Flint's afraid of. I mean, with the Null Rod in play, there's not that many things Flint's afraid of. And does Felwar yeah, it's any mana. I wasn't sure if it was basic land that your opponent produces, but I think it's any because it triggers off dual lands. So
All right. So he's decided on the 5 cards he wants to keep.
right.
I have to imagine that that bodes not so well for Tom.
Oh yeah, Flint had to cast this on his turn, right?
Um,
Because of the defense grid.
yeah, defense grid makes everything cost 3 more, right?
Yeah,
Or 2?
when you
Yeah.
play it during your opponent's turn.
Yeah. So given that he only has 3 mana tap there, he probably played it during his upkeep before the Tangle Wire.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I was just thinking we were at Tom's end of Tom's turn, but I guess, um, yeah, with
He's not going
that,
to be able to really do anything else with his turn there.
yeah, I don't think he has the option to pay 6 additional mana. I mean, also these defense grids like kind of disrupt Tom if he's going for a Rushing River plan.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess it's pretty awkward if you're playing defense grid and Rushing River because you're not gonna be able to do anything about Flint's combo unless you have a ton of mana.
It's true. I think the one counter argument to that is I think Flint gives you a lot of time most of the time,
Yeah, but
especially
you
if
could
you're.
like if you put like an Academy Rector down, then like that's a way that, and then you could just have the Goblin Bombardment and the 0 mana creature. That's yeah. I mean, you only need 2 mana.
Ooh, hold on, I gotta click to gain my bonus channel points real quick.
Okay, good. I will set up rewards I think eventually, but I'm not exactly sure how many rewards points do you have right now?
820.
Oh, I have infinite. It literally says infinite next to mine.
Okay. They can't be that many. I've only watched the stream twice.
You get a bunch, I think, like the first time like you follow and whatnot. So
Sure.
all right, so Tinker's being cast. He sacrifices a defense grid.
Seems fine.
What card are you getting though?
I assume he's
Just another
gonna
Tangle Wire.
get half the combo.
Nope. Well, I mean,
Another
it does.
Tangle Wire. Okay.
Either half of the combo doesn't do anything with Null Rod in play right now.
Yeah, but I mean, like
You're just you're just
Flint's
gonna
at
leave it out there and wait and hope to draw a Rushing River.
yeah, Flint's at 12. Like maybe you just attack with the 1/1 a bunch of times.
Sure. I mean,
Flint paid a lot of life for that Lim-Dul's fault.
yeah.
Sometimes you got your broken combo deck and it just turns into attacking people with 1/1s and 1/2s for a while.
Yeah,
Whoever
Flint's got a
played
one.
Dredge can tell you that.
Flint's got a 1/2. The 06 and 03 I don't are not very good at attacking.
Yeah. I mean, and he certainly has enough permanence to like be attacking through this Tangle Wire that he has down. So
Yeah, Tom actually has a pretty good spot for mana in terms of. Yeah, I guess it is kind of painful though if he's
yeah,
tapping with those ancient tombs.
you were dunking on it earlier, but he's gonna
Oh,
his out in this
he's
game
at
is to cast a 6 mana 1/1 and attack 11 times.
Yeah.
All right, we got a land. Another City Brass. That's a rough one.
Yeah. I guess at least he has enough permanence. He's not tapping it to Tangle Wire. So
I mean, if there's one thing you can say about Tom, it's that he's willing to pay the iron price.
yeah. Well, I think it's very reasonable in this matchup.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean the idea of the deck is just get him dead quick most of the time. I mean it's okay at grinding. So like if the game's only gonna last 3 or 4 turns, most of the time your life doesn't matter.
For sure. I mean, with a mana base like that, somebody's definitely going to die quick.
Yep.
One of the players.
All right. He's going to 6.
All right. Show me a 6 mana 1/1.
What if you just got like Triskelion? Too bad that's not in the. I guess it's yeah, but that would just be a 4/4 though. But
That would be. All right, here it goes.
Yes.
Everybody mark your calendars. Tom's going to win this game. 11 turns.
There's the. Oh, I guess he won't be tapping the City of Brass, the Tangle Wire. I was to say the clock might not be that slow.
11 turns maximum.
Sure. Well, Flint could just play a Shield Sphere though. What are you gonna do about the Shield Sphere or a
Uh,
Phyrexian Walker?
yeah, I mean, I don't know.
That buys him a lot of time.
Cry deeply.
when when combo decks don't have their plan A, then some weird interactions happen. So this
Some
impulse,
impulse.
yeah, it's got to be on his turn. So he's taking how much did he take to cast this? Three
He's
damage
at 3.
taking 3 damage to cast his impulse.
No, he's at 3. He took 2 damage to cast the impulse.
No, he was at 6.
Yeah, and he cast the Phyrexian.
He had to have
He
Ancient
cast the
Tomb and
Tinker.
City of Brass.
Yeah, he cast Tinker and Impulse. And
Oh,
then if this were the old days, he'd burn for 1.
oh. Well, I mean, he still takes 2 damage from each of the Ancient Tombs.
Yeah. And 1 from City of Brass.
Yeah, that's 3 damage.
It's 5 damage.
Well, he was at 6 and he went to 3. That's 3 damage.
Yeah, when he cast the Tinker, he tapped Island and Ancient Tomb.
So why does he have himself at 3 then?
Because he was at 8, and on his turn he took 5 damage from his lands.
I thought he went to 6 after he cast.
After he cast Tinker, he went to 6 because he tapped an Ancient Tomb to play Tinker.
Oh, okay.
And then he tapped Ancient Tomb and City Brass to play Impulse.
I guess I was thinking he was at 6 after he cast the Tinker.
He was.
Yeah, he was. What am I? I don't know. I don't understand.
Took...
Yeah, I get it. All right, I'm done with this.
The actual hardest part of this game has been explaining to Michael
Yep. How much damage?
how much damage these lanes did. Now the real sad thing here is,
Well, why did he tap?
also,
Why did he tap City Brass instead of Fellwar Stone?
because there's a Null Rod in play. You can't tap Fellwar Stone.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that one.
Now you know.
The more you know. But yeah, Flint is just not having to do a lot of work. Like just a Goblin Bombardment and a few
And
creatures.
some random dudes.
Yeah. There's a humility.
I'll tell you what, that actually makes it in this current situation. It makes this Phyrexian Devourer strictly better.
Yes. Now it doesn't die when it has enough powers.
Now, if for some reason somebody casts Might Evokes on it, it won't die.
Right.
All right. I was saying before, one of the downsides to having paid the iron price for all these.
Okay. All right.
cards.
So here's a Rushing River. So he's going to 1. That's kind of risky if you're going to 1. I mean, I guess if you're killing him, right?
What's he even bouncing here?
He's bouncing Null Rod. And humility. It sacrifices for kicker to bounce too. Sure. You gotta have the last one. Okay. All right. So yeah, no, he's got a fling. He's got a fling.
Oh, sick.
All right. Well, he had just enough life.
Hey man, you only need 1.
He technically didn't even need that Fellwar Stone. He could have tapped the City of Brass, put the damage on the stack, and then responded with fling.
That's true.
But Flint's making him flip over the cards.
Yeah, Flint had to go use the bathroom, so he hit 6 and walked away.
Well, I mean, you get information of how he sideboarded.
Sure.
Well, I was not expecting that to happen, so I guess that was.
Yeah, I think we had all kind of resigned that game to Flint winning.
Yeah. So
we got too distracted trying to figure out how much damage he took that one turn.
Well, I was the one who was distracted because I couldn't figure it out. You knew, so you don't have an excuse.
Well, I was trying to explain it to you instead of watching the game.
All right, that's fair. That's a good excuse. All right, I'll go back to Flint's sideboard. I don't know if there's anything that he wants to revisit. I mean, that Null Rod definitely seemed like it was pretty stellar.
Yeah. Hey, what about Engineered Plague on whatever Devourers?
Oh, that is it. Yes, so that is something that I did not mention. But yes, if you name Construct, then that is another permanent that. Yeah, that seems better than. Seems better than Humility, right?
I don't, again, I think they're all pretty equivalent, and I think it's just a matter of how many you think you need.
No, because the Humility is you could tinker and put the thing in play and then bounce the Humility and then go off as we saw. But if that was Engineered Plague, then the Devourer would be gone, and
That's true.
And
That's true.
at any point, if you have Devourer in play and Engineer play comes into play, I guess you could
Chat,
remove
what
it.
do you guys think?
I guess if it wasn't null rotted, you'd be able to exile a card to make it get a little bit of toughness to keep it around. But yeah, in general, preemptively, I think that Engineered Plague is probably better than Humility.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know um, if they're gonna. I guess I wasn't watching to see if they changed any of their cards, but um,
So knowing that Flint is bringing in the Null Rod, do you maybe just take out the altars and try to just win with Fling?
well, I mean, the Null Rod still shuts down the combo because of
Sure.
the
Yeah, I guess you
Devourer.
can't really
So
go off of the Null Rods in place, so that doesn't
yeah,
really make sense.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The thing is, the thing I would rethink is like how good are these defense grids? I mean, I think they did enough that game, but it's like I would just worry about being in certain situations that you're just more vulnerable to Flint's combo um,
Yeah.
with the defense grid in play. But I guess there's not that many cards that Tom has
Yeah, there's not really a whole
to
lot that Thomas
interact,
playing.
so um, it's not like it's just the rushing rivers that he's taking away. I think. All right, chat. Let us know who you think is going to take down this last game.
I just let them know they can go whenever they're ready.
All right, Flint Mulligans.
So we got a mulligan from Flint and from Tom.
Yeah. Gemstone Mine and Cabal Therapy.
OS Kurt Ape says knowing is half the battle.
Yes.
So you got to get a little dunk in on Mikey when you can.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Well, he just named. He's got to be named Tinker again, right? Oh, is he? Oh, he's naming Defense Grid. So I guess
Okay.
the opinions of Defense Grid of mine, I guess, are different than what everyone else's.
I think I would have named Tinker, but um,
So the cards that we see are Impulse, Jeweled Amulet, Fling, Phyrexian Devourer, Island, and Shivan Reef. All right, so Jeweled Amulet comes down with the Island, so he'll be able to charge that up. I mean, he needs a lot of mana.
yeah, I was gonna say, what do you think of this keep? I guess
I
it's
think it's
a
fine.
6 card hand, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, I think it's fine.
yeah.
Charge it up. Blue mana. All right. I guess also naming like defense grid could just also be another thing, like saying that Flint has counter magic in his hand. He might.
Could be.
I don't know if you don't have arcane denials or mana leaks in your starting hand, then maybe you do name Tinker, but maybe because you have the other cards you're naming defense grid. I don't know if that changes.
Yeah, you think maybe Flint is just trying to like get a sick game going, and doesn't have counter magic, but he just named defense grid to make Tom change the way he plays.
I don't think that bluff is worth the. I mean, like I think it's just better to name a
Yeah, yeah.
different card if yeah.
I think I agree, but like you never know.
Sure. This
Flint has proven he's a wild boy. He'll take all kinds of lines.
this defense grid only or this gemstone mine only has one more counter, so I don't know if Flint has to tap it, because he can't make red or black mana with the Adarkar Wastes. So I don't know
That's true. 4
that
cards in
might
hand
come into
here.
play too.
Gonna turn impulse. Looking for Altar of Dementia or Tinker here.
Even just like lands that make 2 mana are pretty good, I think too.
Yeah, it's
So
true.
I mean, I don't know if you're giving
Just
Flint.
get to 8 mana. That's pretty good.
Yeah, if you're giving Flint that many turns though, you might fear a disruption piece. Like there's a lot of cards that Flint could have to disrupt that though. I guess how much mana is he at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
4.
He has 5. So he spent.
Oh, can't tell what that is.
It's a chromatic sphere. Oh no, is it Tangle? It's got Tangle Wire. I was gonna say, I'm like, why did he? I'm like, why did he tap 3 mana for Chromatic Sphere? But yeah, that makes more sense. All right,
I got a mana leak. So
Flint will take a damage.
hypothesis confirmed. Mana
Yes.
leak in the hand.
Okay. So do you think Tom's like fine with that exchange happening, or do you think he should, if he really wants to resolve that Tangle Wire, he should be waiting and drawing an extra mana to play around Mana Lake? I mean, he still could have Arcane Denial, but or do you
No,
think he's just fine for that?
Yeah, I think it's a fine exchange. Because the counter could be an Arcane Denial. I think you're just gonna have to fight through it regardless, and you'd much rather have this Tangle Wire get shut down than an actual combo piece.
Yeah,
Plus,
I get.
like
If you're playing around Mana Leak, yeah, if you're gonna spend 8 mana one turn, you're gonna get Mana Leaked anyways.
yeah. Plus, like if you're willing to commit that Tangle Wire to the board, it also means that like you expect the game to last at least the next couple of turns. So that kind of leads me to believe that it's not like um, Tom is like going to try to go off here or anything in the next like turn or two. So he'll have time to find a way to get underneath those defenses.
All right, so there's a City of Traitors. So right now he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana.
It's true.
And if he does have another land next turn, he could have access to 8. So I think Flint he's definitely not looking to tap out.
So the ideal for Tom here would be to be able to cast the altar this turn and then come up with that 9th mana next turn. All right, just gonna cast a Devour. It's gonna take 2 for that. It's gonna get mana leaked.
Okay. Interesting. I mean, he also could have like another Devourer in his hand. He could have a Tinker. Like if you have a Tinker and that's just kind of like baiting it out.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's probably reasonable to give up a combo piece there. You already have the Fling in your hand. So at this point, he just needs, one Devourer to win.
So if Flint is getting Goblin Bombardment here, I have to feel like he's gonna kill Tom. Like right? Like otherwise Null Rod just seems better, right?
I don't think Flint can kill from this position.
Yeah, if he has Academy Rector and a 0-drop.
No, he's still got to
Oh,
play.
he's still got to play that. Yeah, Bombardment.
That's a 6 mana play. So I mean, I agree with your assessment that Null Rod's a better pick here.
Yeah, because he could have 5 mana if he had like 2 0-drops and a Phyrexian Tower, but yeah.
Which land is that? Is that the one of the layers?
It's Dromar's Cavern. Now it adds.
So he doesn't even have red mana until he played that.
Well, he had the Gemstone Mine. He picked it up from the Cavern.
Okay.
So I mean, he could have either Rector or Enduring Renewal in his hand, and he's going over the window over 2 turns. That seems likely. Otherwise, it seems unusual to get the Null Rod just seems so powerful. Yeah.
The other piece, so.
Yeah, it just seems so. Null Rod just seems so powerful.
Yeah.
It just seems like it buys you so much time.
So
Tom just said go. All right.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll find out if that last card just hand was Academy Rector. If it is, I think that makes him the winner. No, doesn't look like it was. So my guess would be the last card in his hand is some kind of counter spell.
I guess if he only has 1 card, he needs 2 cards. It needs to be like Academy Rector and a way to get the 0-drop.
Sure.
So
my guess is that one of those 2 cards is an Arcane Denial.
Yeah, I think that would make sense. Some sort of permission. Jewel the Amulet, I don't think that'd be one I would counter. Alright, so we see Academy Rector. One's gotta tap his mana. So yeah, this is another spot. Either like Flint is, if he's not winning, he's passing like kind of with shields down again. But
yeah, I have to assume that the casting Academy Rector here means he's got the win, but
not necessarily. I mean, I guess like Tom has shown that he's just willing to play his spells in open mana, and so even if I don't know, or maybe Flint just doesn't have it, like doesn't have a counter spell.
that's possible.
So he'll exile the. Oh, he's got to exile that guy. Academy Rector.
All right, show me the shield spear or shield sphere.
What if it's a Phyrexian Walker? Nope.
It's not.
Oh, it is.
Up.
No, it is a Phyrexian Walker, right?
Okay.
That is. I thought it was a black card. I thought it was a Cabal Therapy.
So I think he just drew runner. To be honest with you, because I feel pretty confident the turn that he played the Goblin Bombardment, that he had the Arcane Denial in his hand.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Well, he could have Russian River here, right? Respond to the.
Yeah. Looks like he does.
You're gonna bounce both of these bad boys, right?
Yeah, but then. Yeah, that's not. I mean,
then he could just untap and have Tinker and win the game.
Okay. All right, so yeah, if you because you do it in response to casting the Phyrexian Walker. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Ooh, this is exciting.
What's on top of the deck?
Is he? So he has 1, 2, 3. Oh, the City of Traitors gone, or is it just?
Yeah, he sacked it to the Rushing River to bounce the other.
Oh, okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So unless he has another like City of Traitors or Ancient Tomb or Crystal Vein, which he could actually have. That could be a card that he's drawn in the last few turns.
Yeah. Or a Tinker.
Yeah. And when I say he has the land, that means that you would also have to have the Devourer, obviously.
Yeah. He has outs. I'm not sure what they're talking about at this point, right? Did Tom draw his card already?
I don't think so.
I mean,
Flint is flashing back Cabal Therapy.
Oh, okay.
So,
you got to say Tinker at this time.
Oh, you could say Fling. I think you say Fling, right?
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Tinker. That's.
You leveled both of us.
Why? Like, why wouldn't you just name Fling? Like, if
some of us are dummies, Michael.
Well, I mean, I guess because the 0-mana creature is gone, so there are going to be a number of turns that are going to keep going. Like, it's not like Flint just needs to draw land and wins. But if you just know he has Fling in his hand.
Well, you know what they say, man. You can't Cabal Therapy the top of his guy's deck. So
sure.
Ooh, City of Traitors. Okay.
All right.
Why not play the defense grid there?
Because you have Rushing River.
Yeah, but you can pay.
Yep. Yeah, you could. Yeah, I guess.
So if Flint drew a land, he still needs to know the 0-mana dude. So.
And he'd be able to get that with Enlightened Tutor, Lim-Dul's Vault, or just drawing it.
I think he should have played that defense grid last turn.
Yeah, it definitely seems. Now is he gonna do it?
I mean, he should.
Definitely seems good now. I mean, if his out is Tinker, he can just wait and play it on the turn. Like he has enough mana that he can just play it the turn he wants to. But I guess then he has enough mana. Flint has enough mana to pay for the defense grid, so he wouldn't have to counter the defense grid. Maybe that's his thought, that like Flint is never gonna tap that much mana on his turn, so the defense grid might do more to hurt Tom than.
Yeah, but also like the couple of turns there where Flint didn't have all his mana untapped. Right? Like Flint, unless he I guess he does now, but at the time he only had 5 mana, so Flint was going to have to do it over 2 turns, which meant if you had the defense grid in play, you could theoretically draw your Tinker and know that it's not going to get Arcane Denial.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little bit of a moot point now, but
yeah. So a Mind Stone was cycled.
Yeah.
In a Chromatic Sphere, so now we see a Null Rod.
I suspect we're going to see this Mind Stone get cycled again before this Null Rod hits
sure.
the board.
But like with Rushing River in his hand, I guess there's an Arcane Denial that Flint is going to need to like always have mana up. So this is a spot where like if you have it, then playing the defense grid would be enough because Flint only has 4 mana available. Interesting. Yeah, I wonder, like, is it a mistake to play Null Rod there? Because like what does it do? Like if it is a problem, he has Rushing River.
Well, you have the Arcane Denial to back it up.
Yeah, but
so it's not like he can Rushing River it away right now.
I mean, he can because he has a defense grid.
Well, it doesn't have a defense grid in play.
Yeah, but he could cast it. I guess, yeah. I mean,
so he'd have to have.
I guess his shields are down for 1 turn, basically.
Yeah.
So Flint.
He's going for it.
I mean, if this is like a bluff from Tom, that's a reasonable line too, right?
I think it's pretty wild to cast Arcane Denial into defense grid, though, right?
Well, you can't cast it this turn otherwise.
Yeah, but like, you can't cast it next turn either. Like,
I mean, maybe he has another one to say. I don't know. He gets to draw another card too. Like,
that's true.
So, like with it might draw Flint another card deeper because he just, I don't know. I guess he. Because if he makes Tom use Rushing River on the combo pieces again, then he doesn't have it for the Null Rod. So I don't know. This is complicated.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely tough, but I would feel better if I was Tom if my hand had an Arcane Denial in it.
If you're Flint?
Yeah.
And a defense grid in play?
Yeah, I can just pay for the defense grid.
Yeah. Yeah, because I guess if he has it that turn...
And then, like, when it's time for me to go off, that Rushing River costs a bajillion mana.
Sure. And if he has the Arcane Denial still, then, like, he only needs to use 2 mana. Yeah. He's playing with the Enduring Renewal, so... The problem is if he doesn't have the combo right now, that shuts off, like, him drawing... Okay. So, Andy's got a... Arcane Denial. Wow.
I mean, when you have it all, you have it all, I guess.
Yeah. There's nothing Tom could do, right? I mean, he can...
he could have more than one Rushing River in his hand.
Yeah.
Sack the Jeweled Amulet, buddy.
Okay. It sacrifice a land. Is
it land? Yeah. Okay, never mind. I'm dumb. Don't listen to me, anybody.
You're thinking about Tinker. You got Tinker on the mind. All right, Flint will cast an Arcane Denial. Tom doesn't have it. He's got Devour, Tinker. He must have just drawn those. I guess is what he's saying. All right, let's move over so we can listen to them.
Yeah. I'm gonna unmute these guys.
Yeah, that was tough. I mean, I probably should have waited that first time, since I had the Arcane Denial. But it ended up okay in the end.
No, that worked out perfect. Yeah, not that I would have been able to do these the turn before, but once I drew those off the denial, I was like, oh wow, I have a win next turn if I can. If you don't have anything, I thought I was gonna have the win.
Can you guys hear us?
Close games.
Yeah, man.
I'll show you how I boarded here.
I'll tell him to unmute us.
Sure. Flint is displaying how he sideboarded.
Oh wait.
He brought in the Energy Flux, Aura Silence, Humility.
There we go.
All right, now they can hear us.
Hey guys.
I just brought in a ton of my sideboard against you. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. What was the last card?
It sounds like Flint decided that all of them was enough.
Where is it? Somewhere around here. 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay. Flint, can you hear us? Tom, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Tom, tell Flint to unmute us.
Sorry, I'll do that.
Right.
That's how powerful my voice is.
Hey guys.
Flint, what'd you take out?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I took out.
The interesting card of this matchup is the defense grid, I think, from Tom's side, because it's obviously it's good against the counter magic, but it's kind of awkward if you're like trying to Rushing River.
Exactly. I felt that game too.
Yeah.
Which I was like, I wasn't casting the defense grid for a while.
All right, no, I didn't take that out.
Okay. So it kind of looks like Flint shuffled up his deck at random and took out 7 cards.
Oh, he took out 3 Goblin Bombardments? Okay. All right. I guess that makes a little more sense of like why you Enlightened Tutor for that 1 Goblin Bombardment then.
Yeah.
You only had 1 in the deck?
Yeah, well, I mean, I still think it's better to hold on to the Enlightened Tutor until you draw one of the other pieces.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like he only has 1 Enduring Renewal in, right? If he took 1 out.
Yeah.
There's only 2 in there, so.
Mm. Yeah.
He's just as likely to draw that as he is to draw Goblin Bombardment.
Sure. Flint, the one play that I can remember we were talking about. So you Arcane Denial that defense grid.
Mm-hmm.
What if you just let it resolve?
I had a second Arcane Denial in my hand.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, but you also could have just paid.
Did he have an extra card in his hand that turn? I thought he didn't. No, he didn't. There's a spot where he only had 2 extra mana up.
Yeah, like what's like you think it's more likely that you're going to need to cast 2 Arcane Denials in the same turn, which you won't be able to do if you Arcane Denial.
Well, no, he's just afraid of dying that turn.
Defense grid.
Yeah.
Or are you more likely to want to have to cast Arcane Denial on 2 successive turns?
You're probably right. I think I just wanted to try to advance my board back out since I had the combo piece. Like I had 2 of the combo pieces, and I had a lot of live draws in my deck. So I wanted to use my mana to keep an Arcane Denial up, but also try to get the Bombardment and the Renewal back on the, maybe not necessarily the Renewal, but at least the Bombardment out, and then any other hate cards that I brought in.
I'm trying to remember. Did you have 5 mana or 6 mana?
He had 5.
5.
Yeah.
So I guess that makes a little bit more sense then. You could, because you can play out the Bombardment and then try to win the next turn. But I don't know. I think that's a tough decision. I will
Well,
say one other line that we talked about is why didn't you name Fling with Cabal Therapy the second time?
Yeah.
Oh, the second time?
Yeah, because he already
I
had the one Fling in his hand.
Yeah, I could have. You're right. I guess I was more worried about Altar, but you know, Fling would have been a smarter choice because at least I would have got something.
But you had an
I can't
Arcane
get ready
Denial
for
on
that
that
one.
at that point, right? Like, I mean, I guess if you, yeah, it just seems like it's really hard for Tom to assemble. It's hard for you to die in like the next few turns if you're naming Fling. But
Yeah, that's fair. That was probably incorrect.
Yeah. We took out the Factor Fictions.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
took out Factor Fiction. Just bring in like now 4 defense grids. Like I can't be doing that end of his turn, and then
Mhm.
casting it on my turn is not ideal.
Sure.
And then cut to Altars. Just figured he was bringing the Null Rods in, so it's like more of the Fling plan, but also just keeping 2 in also because of Russian River. But I think there's gonna be times this is like not good to have all 4.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. That's just not something I
Yeah.
touched on, but I think that's a good plan.
I think like given
Yeah.
that you can tinker for it, it's probably fine. To
Yeah,
cut
exactly.
some
Like
number of those.
exactly.
Uh,
I thought about cutting one of the Devourers too, but no, I didn't want to do it. I feel like the Altar was worse, and then it's like less win cons if I'm sticking with the Fling plan because then like it makes Fling worse with less Devourers, etc. Um, and I brought in a Tormod Crypt too,
Yeah.
just in case.
Yeah, I was surprised that this matchup felt like it had a lot more finesse than I guess I would have looked on paper.
yeah.
It just seemed like it was kind of like Flint had some haymakers in the sideboard and it was just going to shut you down. But it definitely felt like the Devour deck can kind of navigate around it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think given that so many of those haymakers just get like bounced with Rushing River, you kind of almost need 3 of them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. I
Yeah.
was just thinking, I was like, I just got to get 3 of these things on the table.
Yeah. Which I think that makes the counter spells a little bit better than the permanents. I mean, obviously Null Rod is still very good.
I guess
it shuts down all the mana rocks and stuff.
It depends on how afraid of defense grid you are, though. Like the counter spells get pretty bad if like defense grid's in play.
I actually boarded some counter spells out, more counter spells out game 2. Because I was on the draw and I was just thinking he was going to get a defense grid down super fast.
Well, he certainly did that.
Yeah. And then I brought the all but one back in for game 3.
Okay. Yeah. I thought Tom was going to take down that second game by just attacking 11 times with that 1/1. Then he dashed my hopes by actually combo killing you.
You got to go big.
Yeah.
That's how the deck works.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah,
heartbreaking. Heartbreaking.
Game 2, we were talking about how tight that game 2 was.
Yeah.
Game 1, I'm not gonna get into it, but I made a huge mistake. But
Yeah.
that's a whole other thing.
All right.
Only Flint will know.
Yeah.
Well, taking it to the grave, Tom.
Well.
Thanks, man.
All right. Well, I don't really have any other questions. There were times that I was just confused. There were so many times I was messed up with math and like I was just making things wrong statements. So
Mike had a hard time keeping track of the life totals and counting to 5.
Yeah, I was really confused on one turn when like multiple ancient tombs were tapped and I'm like I couldn't do math. It was not good.
I couldn't even keep up with the life total. I think I missed a couple ancient
Flint got
tombs.
There was one point where I commented, I'm like, all 3 of us have different life totals. Like,
Yeah.
Flint had one set, Tom had another, and I had another. I'm like, I think I'm right, but I don't know. That was one point where I was confident, but maybe I was wrong. But it was funny.
In Tom,
yeah.
we trust.
Yeah. So.
How's this part of that same tournament, right?
Yeah, this is part of the gauntlet. So.
How does this affect people's brackets?
Yeah. Well, pretty much, I think everyone is busted at this point. So, I mean, there still is like a point system, but for those who maybe who didn't sign up for the 64, I think we are going to have, once we get down to the top 16, we're going to have another bracket that people can sign up and guess. So if you didn't get in for the first one, or if you, obviously, even if you did the 64, we'll have another kind of friendly competition of see who can predict the top 16 the best. So that's something to look forward to and kind of get a little emotionally invested if you haven't been already.
Chat Mike confirms all the brackets are in fact totally busted.
Yeah, I think they were busted like after the third round, like the third game. I think it was a lot of upsets happened really early. So
I will say I do have one small critique, Flint. That gold bordered reflecting pool. That's low quality.
Gold bordered Enlightened Tutors as well. Look, man, when you have 36 decks, Premodern decks built,
I'm just saying, you knew you were going to be on camera today. You could have taken a few minutes to swap it out for the black border ones.
You can watch my lands match up later, and you can just look at full art lands, and hopefully that'll make up for it.
yeah.
Sorry, everybody.
That's
but I'm not really sorry.
Okay. All right. Do you guys have anything to add? Otherwise, we're gonna wrap this up.
I don't think so. Other than maybe just I managed to dodge a really quick kill, and so I think that definitely helped. And
Sure.
the disruption in this deck was kind of how I started with it when I built it, because I was just thinking it's so slow that I really have to have some kind of like an Esper disruption build. And I think I got a little lucky today. But thanks for the games.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Thanks, guys.
Yep. All right. We'll hopefully see you soon.
Going in the near future, huh?
Yep. All right. Take care, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
All right. Take care. Be good.
All right. And so just want to thank everyone who was able to tune in and watch, and we hope we will see you soon. So until next time, take care.